Hi, beautiful Aries. Welcome to New Era. My name is Emma. Aries, this is your general reading starting today on the 1st of February. So it's very new energy here, I feel. I'm just going to jump right in and see what's going on for you with 2 cards or basic energy. You got 4 cards just because you can. We're going to dive deeper into each and every one of these cards, and I set the time frame to early February until early March. And we have Unfinished Symphony, number 10. We have Why, number 31. We have Here and Now, number 32. And Chop Wood, 42. Very beautiful. And I see this as a little, like a beautiful process. So, there's a completion of something. And it's interesting because numerology-wise, 10 is the completion, and Unfinished Symphony basically asks you to complete something. When the Unfinished Symphony comes out, it talks about starting projects and maybe not finishing them, like having a lot of passion at the very early beginning of something, and then losing that passion. And then, you know, you give that a rest, and then something else comes along, and it's like you have a lot of passion and you have a lot of, you know, oh, I really want to do this, and you start it off and then you don't finish the project. And eventually, when you've started a lot of things and you don't finish it, and it can be, I mean, there's going to be a different feeling if you feel like, okay, it's done here. The information is shared, the information is exchanged, whatever you were supposed to learn out of this project, like it's done, it's a done deal. But there's a different feeling of it being a done deal and moving on from it, like having closure in it and moving on from it. Then if you're starting something and you have the feeling like you would want to continue to do it, and yet you don't, you just leave it be there. So it's sort of open-ended. We don't have closure in it, if that makes sense. And if you keep doing that, like the energy is going to build. There's going to start to feel, that's going to start to affect your nervous system. I don't want to scare anybody here. It's just, you know, you can have a little bit of an internal stress, and you don't fully understand where that internal stress comes from, or you have a feeling like, this day has also passed and I haven't done all that I was supposed to do. And maybe you have done quite a bit and what you set out to do, and it's not a competition who does the most in one day, you know. Even though I think humanity, I don't know, took that class, a lot of us did. So no, it's more like a unfinished business, unfinished projects, then gets like put on top of each other, that at the end of the day it's becoming a little bit of a stressful situation on your like nervous system, in your inner body, and then you just walk around with this feeling like it's unfinished. So what I'm getting with this is that you can literally write down on the piece of paper everything you feel is not dealt with, and that can even be paying bills. It can be, but this Unfinished Symphony is basically usually more around like taking on projects and adding the final touch to it to say, okay, I've closure on this, we can move on from that. But you can write it down on a piece of paper and sort of just remove the stress of what is unfinished to a piece of paper. So at least you get it on paper to see what is it that you, and then maybe just go through each and every one of them. Like, do I want to continue on this? Yes, I do. Set a time frame for it, and then like put it like on the back burner for a bit. Next thing, do I want to continue this? Actually, no. Actually, that feels quite done. So I don't even know why I'm stressing about that. So just, you know, take it off the list. Mark it as like done deal. And the next and the next and the next, and set like a, even if you say I'm going to return to this in 5 years. And it sounds ridiculous, like if I put 5 or 10 years, you know, that's going to ease your mind. It's going to ease your stress levels like immediately, because then it's not like it's something there that you're supposed to do. And then over time, you might want to go back to that list and like, that has also run its course, then check it off, like take it off the list. I hope this makes sense. There's a completion here, so there's something that wants to be completed. So there might also be a project that you have just started that wants to be completed, like to hang in there, to not quit it before it's done. And that's going to be like worth so much to you, because it's that feeling of having something been done. And I know we're not here to get things done. We're not here to like get certain results. We're here for the journey of it. But sometimes that journey is to get it done, to just feel like you accomplished something, you finished something. And then I get this, so I think this is a very, like, it's a very big matter of who am I in this world is a vibe here. Like, what is it that I want to jump on? What is it that you want to do, like, with your energy? Because this why is sort of asking you to ask those questions. Why? To have the reason why you get up in the morning. Aries, why do you get up in the morning? What's your reason for being here? Because if you haven't asked or answered those questions, once it gets a little bit tough, or once you don't sort of like your surroundings all that much, it's going to be really tough to get up from bed in the morning. You know, or find that purpose. Why should you go to bed at night when you have nothing to get up to in the morning? Why should you get up in the morning when you have nothing sort of to come up to? When you ask those questions, and you don't have to immediately get the answer, you just have to start to ask the questions. When you start to ask the question why, and it can be the biggest type of question, it can be the smallest question. Within why, it can be, why am I here? Why am I on planet Earth? You know, that's a huge question. And it's also like, why do I feel driven towards this project? To constantly just ask yourself why. And before taking on something, get the answer. And that answer can take a couple of hours, a couple of days, a couple of weeks, sometimes even a couple of months to get the answer to a question. And we have number 33 there. No, we don't. We have number 31. So 3 is all about passion, creativity, joy, fun, celebrations. And number 1 is new beginnings and new start. And if you add those up, we have the heart. It's a heart matter and laying a new foundation for yourself. So you want to incorporate your heart in whatever it is that you're doing, to drop down a little bit from your head and into your heart and ask those big questions. And sort of be a kid again, a kid that is on this adventure, on this journey to explore life. And start to find the wonders in the details again. Like we had the expression that God is in the details. What does that even mean? If you're striving for God, if you're striving for like source, if you strive for passion and creativity and love, you know, strive to find it in your lunch. Strive to find it in your conversation with your next conversation with your friend. Instead of like, I'm waiting for that big thing to drop, and when it does, man, that's when I'm gonna feel, you know, to go into the details so that your life almost is a blessing from when you wake up until you die. What? I was gonna say wake up until you go to bed, but yeah, perhaps that's the bigger. I mean, if we take that metaphorically, when you wake up until you die, it's quite profound there, if you ask me. We're going to dive deeper into each and every one of these energies and see exactly what's going on. I feel it's very specific already. Here and now, it's asking you, we have the past and we have the future in this card, but this is literally asking you to be here and now. To just be here. So maybe if there's projects going on, if you don't know really where you, like, what's your place, like, where's your place? If we ask the question why, like, why is more like around who you are, like, and maybe like more what's your purpose, what you want to do. If you ask the question where, it's more like, and where do you want to do that? It's like and I mean, due to the pandemic, maybe you can't make any sort of bigger move right now, but there's the question here in where you want to be as well. And the where can also be in what mind frame, in what mindset, in what, I can't find the word for it, like inställning. Now you Swedish people go, it's called this, inställning. Like in what position? It's not really position either. Where do you want to find yourself? Like, what do you want to be happy? Do you want to be passionate? Do you want to be, that is also setting a goal. Like to set a goal like tomorrow and during the day, I want to feel more excited. That is aware as well. And so we have opened, there's like something about open the window, like we've opened the doors to this egg, like there's something that can hatch within inside this egg. And I feel like if you're just a bit more in the flow, a bit more gentle about things, not so much about getting things done, but sort of going a little bit more. And I'm not saying don't do certain things or don't call certain people or don't interact with other people. I'm just saying there's a bit of a more flowy and softer and gentler energy that could really benefit you to step into now. That's going to open the window to so many opportunities. We have again there the number 3, which speaks about the passion, the creativity, celebrations. Number 2 is conversation and communication in relationships. Adding those up, we have a number 5, which is you're standing in the midst of a great opportunity for change here. And we're not supposed to think too much about the past and not too much about the future, but just here and now. Why are you here? Where do you want to be? And the answer is here and now, basically, for right now anyway. And then we jump. So I love how we've had a completion and we're coming to 31, leading into 32. So there's a beautiful process going on here. And then jumping from 32 to 42. So there's another indication of the 10 there, like a completion. And with this chopped wood, I love how we first had this window or doors opening to that window or opening to that door, that opening, that portal. And if you go a little bit more with the flow, like be a little bit more in your divine feminine energy, following whatever sort of the universe shows you to follow right now. There's the opening of the doors leading into just the light. And this chopped wood for me is all about raising your vibration, how you've cleaned it up. There's actually another card that's called Clean It Up, like raising your vibration. And this is sort of the start of it. It feels like there's the beginning stages of it. Like you have, this can literally mean to get some clutter out of your house, to clean out your closets, whatever sort of is, if you just take a look around in your house, do you have more than you need? And I don't mean in a, like, you're so greedy, you're such a materialist, you shouldn't have all those things or all those stuff. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, do you have certain specific items in your home, in your surroundings, that is just making you feel like there's a lot of clutter, like there's just too much stuff, which is making the energy around you dense. So that is basically saying, whether that's on the outside or whether that's on the inside, what I find is that if you, for instance, if you've eaten so much right before you're going to go to bed, you're not going to have a very pleasant sleep, because the body needs to take care of the food first, and then we can go to rejuvenate, recreate, heal, fix whatever sort of needs a little bit of a touch there in your body. And if you have finished your day with just eating the last thing you did before you went to bed, and this is not sort of a matter of you should not eat after 7 or after 6 or whatever, sorry for saying this ridiculous thing that we have decided, but I think it's sort of somewhere, it's like, okay, so pretend, for just, let's use the analogy, you go to bed like around 10 or 11 at night. then maybe you should eat around 6 or 7, and that should be the final meal, because then the body has time to digest that meal before you go to bed. And then when you go to bed, we can immediately go into regenerate and rejuvenate your body, because it doesn't have food to take care of. If the same thing is going on like on the outside, if you have so much stuff, which is energy in motion, it just sits there vibrating, that you every day sort of is almost a bit fatigue in your own home, because the body is having enough to just sort of deal with everything coming at you because there's so much stuff. Then I suggest you clean it out. You give it away, you give it to charity, you give it to whoever you want to give it to, or just store it in your, if you have storage somewhere. But then don't have the storage be the attic or the basement, because it still affects you. To have like a very clean surrounding, and then you open your attic and it's like, it's coming out, like it's coming out from everywhere. If you want to go deeper into these, there's some that think that, you know, the basement is like your past, it's your repressed, do you say that? No. Like your pressed, like your unconscious mind, your sort of suppressed things that are going on in the basement. If you just clutter that up, like you're not sort of in your life is going to clear that out. And also the same thing, if you have an attic, like en vind in Swedish, and you just fill it to the brim with just stuff everywhere, you can't move, nothing is packed orderly, it's just stuff everywhere, and you would, like, at first glance, when you think about it, it's just, you just think it's a mess, and you wouldn't know back from right. That's an expression. You wouldn't know back from right, that where you have things. That's sort of saying then you can't have that clear communication with the universe. I'm just saying, and there's a little bit like going, I feel like there's a little bit going into it. The cleaner and clearer you are, the more organized you are, the cleaner and clearer life you're gonna have. There's a jump there from 32 to 42. Like, it just feels like if you just start to be more here and now, you're a bit gentler in the energy, not so much like I'm gonna make this happen, but just a little bit more gentle. You're gonna see an enormous jump, like from the 32 to 42. You're gonna see an enormous result, and maybe that's what you need right now, Aries. You might actually need a result. You might actually get something completed, for you to just get a little bit more rest inside of you. And also, I didn't say 42 is there again, a heart matter, and the communication and conversation in relationships. And then you add those up, we have a number 6. So that is your connection with your inner being. That is your connection with the universe. Just really feeling the love and feeling the harmony. So because it's it's a journey here, I feel. So if there's something we want to clarify here, please. The decks I'm using, I've listed down below in the description box if you're interested in them. What else for Aries? Can we clarify the cards on the table, please? Whoever wants to come out. There you go. Wow. You saw those jump out. There's 3 black borders. I love how there's white and black on the table. It's big contrasts, and I'm gonna go through them one at a time here. So we have 2 sacral chakra, 11 balance, and 13 transformation. So this is all what it's about right now. It's passion and creativity. We saw that with a couple of 3s coming out here, and we have 2 3s there. We have 3 3s with the 13. So yeah, there's creation, passion. You're awakening your sacral energy center. That's all about creativity and sexuality. That's your charisma. That's your magnetism. That's your attraction. That's your, you know, you meet those people and you just immediately feel like they have such a twinkle in the eye. They're so charismatic. That's when the sacral energy center is really alive. They are very vibrant, passionate, creative people. This is you. This is awakening within you. And then number 2 there again, which is the conversation, communication in relationships. So there might be a bigger conversation going on, or you might actually start to pay a bigger attention to the conversation that's going on the inside, like what's going on between you and your inner being, or between you and your guides, so whatever you want to call it, source, God. But I also feel like, because we have a lot of projects here, and we have like, what's your place in the world, your purpose, your intention with all of this, there can also be a lot of conversation going on between you and other people right now. And then we have this, which we already felt, like there's a portal thing happening here. And with the number 11 there's a clear portal. It's a brand new, strong beginning, where you're going to find more balance. And this balancing act is going to lead you to so much beauty. But it's something about daring to take this leap of faith, daring to take this step into what might feel like the unknown, but you have enough information to dare to take the next step. I also see this as like a rocket, like almost like the hands there, like fire is coming out of that, and like underneath with their legs, creating a lot of, I know that's clouds, but it's like they're creating a lot of smoke behind you, like you're just lifting off, like what's his face? I'm not going to think about it right now, so I'm not going to... Anyway, like a robot shooting off into the sky. So there's liftoff, like get ready for liftoff. Once you find this balance, once you're a bit softer with yourself, a bit gentler with yourself, and a bit gentler with the energy around you, it's like just create this more soft and fluid energy around you with not so much clutter, and maybe even friends, maybe even people around you. If there's a little bit of a harsh energy around you, to sort of just, you might not have to finish those relationships, but just keep your distance for a bit, to just sort of tend to yourself there, nurture yourself. 11 is also all about your dreams and visions and fantasies and the things you want to start to see in your life. And you're skyrocketing, like you're taking, like get ready for liftoff. Good title, get ready for liftoff. There's 2 again. So there is a lot of conversation going on here right now. And then we have 13, transformation. This is the divine feminine. That's death leading to life. That's 13, death leading to life. Divine feminine. Transformation, huge transformation going on your part. And to get to this transformation, to have this transformation and go into this next level, this next phase that you want to reach, we need that balance. We need this softer, gentler, divine feminine energy. And we have a brand new beginning there with number 1. And again, number 3, passion, creativity, joy, fun, celebrations. And adding those up, we have the number 4. It's a heart matter. You're laying a new foundation. And I see this like you're holding your arms like that around a mask. I see this as a ginormous mask is coming off, like the shell or the outer part of you, or the guard or protection shield. You're lifting it off. You're not completely there yet, that you have completely let go of it, but I see this as a coming clean, coming clear, getting rid of your mask, maybe the facade that you put on for quite some time. And I'm not saying that you walk around pretending being something that you're not, but if there's anything that sort of has been put upon you, once you try to reach this, being more in this gentler and kinder energy, and creating this like space around you that is more beautiful and more spacey, like you're gonna follow that. It's internally you're starting something, and externally that's going to follow. If you start to organize something in the external, that's going to help the internals. It's a win-win situation here for a huge transformation, and the mask is going to come off. The facade or some stuff that has been put upon you from the past is just going to fall away naturally. And we have 3 black borders, so that speaks tremendously to the connection that you have with the universe right now, being able to create exactly what it is that you want. Wow. So what else can we tell Aries about this upcoming time frame? So we have TikTok. So I just get this number and numbers. There are a lot of numbers in this card, yes. However, I just get these number sequences. Like there's a lot of number sequences. So perhaps you're seeing 1111 right now. Perhaps you see 33, 30, 33, 555, 777. It can be like you wake up and at a certain time, like 4:14. Every night you wake up at 4:14, or you know, it doesn't have to be 444 or 555. It can be a particular date, particular time that is significant for you. Doesn't make any sense to anybody else, but it's significant for you. And to pay attention to that, pay attention to what you're thinking about as you're seeing those numbers. Pay attention to your emotional state. Where are you? Like if you wake up in the middle of the night, you're usually very relaxed and very receptive. To maybe then, I understand, maybe not to start this thing so that you now automatically wake up every night, you disturb yourself like at 3 or 4 in the morning. But if you already are doing it, like if you already are up anyway, to start to ask like, okay, is there something that I can receive right now? Because that's usually when we're the most open. We have let go of the burdens of the day, and we've been asleep for a bit, so like we have slowed down the whole system. And if you haven't eaten like the thing you did right before you went to sleep, you have a good chance to be very, very clean and very clear to receive some beautiful insight and beautiful information. To then just ask, like, is there something that I can receive right now in the middle of the night? Other than that, just pay attention to what you're thinking about or feeling when these number sequences shows up. There's also something about letting go of timing here. Letting go of time. Like releasing the clock, releasing the time frame. That there's not a deadline. It's not something you need to have. And I know if there's somebody now arguing and saying, but it is though. I have a deadline and it's coming up like around that date. And just to your best ability, let go of that time frame, let go of that time deadline, because that is actually going to make you have fun until that deadline, and you're not even going to think about it. Then if you're doing stuff because you have a deadline, it's such an opposite energy. But there's also something about like all in good time, the perfect situations. If you think that you have a certain the only analogy that comes to mind right now is because I am, my little boy has just started kindergarten, and we're discussing like what he eats during the day, and to pay attention. Yes, pay attention to what he's eating, but not so much focus in and be fixed on he did not eat all that much potatoes today. He did eat a little bit more meat. But then if you just sort of look at 2 days or 3 days, it turns out the next day he didn't eat meat. The next day he didn't eat all that much meat, but he ate more pasta. Like, so he eats a little bit of the protein, and he eats a little bit of the carbs, I think it's called. And then we don't even have to focus on that. If we look at the whole week, if we don't focus too much on he did not eat well today, because then that can really fast come into a focus. So maybe on Monday he did not eat all that well, and maybe on Tuesday he didn't eat all that well either. So now we have 2 days where he hasn't eaten all that well. If we sort of go, he did what he did today, and Tuesday comes and he did what he did today, And then we still have 5 more days of that week, and it turns out he's eaten more than, you know, for the rest of that week he ate really, really well. So to just, I think you know where I'm going with this, like have a broader perspective, have a broader, like, what did you not get done today? How not interesting is that? What is interesting, if you let go of time, if you let go of what you needed to finish or you know, have done today, and just look at the month, look at the whole month instead, and see what, like, don't even look at it until the end of the month. See what you did. Maybe put little notes down about what you've done, but then don't look back at it until the end of the month to see, to get a real picture of what you've done. Or you can easily get stuck in what you did not get to do today either. And I didn't get to do it today either, which means you didn't do it yesterday or the day before, or, you know. And it doesn't really have to be about that. And there's something about timing. Time flies. I get this, time flies with this, but it, like, yeah, the timing will be perfect when you let it go. 30 again. 3. Creativity, passion, joy, fun, celebrations, and that's going to come full circle. We have a 0 there. If you feel like this is your reading, you're so welcome to come to the extended, where we're going to go deeper into these energies and see what else we can find for you. So the link to that is in the description box down below. If not, thank you so much for watching, Aries, and I hope to see you back soon. Take care, guys. Bye.